Guys, and this is our first weekly video on my brand new site for the animal card readings. And I chose to do this because I'm seeing so much interaction with people with actually wild animals, not domesticated animals, where there's a video where a bear is just standing in their dining room, doesn't mean them any harm, and when they shoo the bear off, he actually has a hurt look on his face because he came to give you a message. And our paradigm that we're leaving is telling us that we don't get along with these creatures because we live in a very civilized, and they'll just tear things up or eat us or harm us, or maybe we just look at them for eating. And these relationships are going to start changing as our consciousness raises, because they're amazing. And I notice squirrels and birds and skunks, and just look at some of the videos out there where they're just all of a sudden like standing in your kitchen, or they want to snuggle in the dog bed, or they want to play with the dog or cat that you already have. And so I think it's something to pay attention to. There's no mistake with this. The animals have always given us messages and we've kind of lost our way. The native culture has always respected this and always looked at the virtues and skill and what different animals bring to us, and kind of decided, what that means. Even some of their names will have a certain animal that represents a strength, an agility, able to trick someone or be smarter, and this is kind of how they pick some of that stuff, is just based on your energy and the animal's energy. So I think they have a lot to say. So as I pull one of these a week, we'll look at what the message is telling us. And this one, oh my God, this is falling out. So here we have Black Panther, and it might be backwards for you guys, I don't know. But Black Panther, look at that beauty. Interesting, this is the last card in this animal deck, and this has a lot to do with going into the void. This has a lot to do with the panther will sit quietly and wait for anyone who is willing to take a journey out of what they already know and what they already think is real, and go into the darkness and start creating and start to pay attention and take a look at what maybe is really going on and what you could make happen. And the other thing about this card is you have to, it's a cat, just like lions or tigers. And in the cat family, they have courage. They also have curiosity. So they have the courage and the curiosity to look in dark spaces, to look in spaces that aren't already set up, cushy and nice, and they are willing to go take a look at it. It's why a cat sometimes will get caught in a bad space just because they were curious. It was dark. They wanted to see what was in there, and they got hung up a little bit. For us spiritually, I think that we're so used to this construct that we live in, and we kind of expect that it's going to be there. But what if it's not there? What if so much of it is disintegrating, and we are meant to go into a void and start creating in a place that doesn't necessarily hold you, doesn't hold your ego or who you thought you were at all? And so I particularly like this card because I think as we see the structures and everything collapsing around us, we really have to pay attention to who are we? What are we? And has any of this even fit us in the first place? And we might find that it never really did. And it's your opportunity to go into the darkness, go into kind of the shadow of maybe stuff that you were afraid to take a look at. And all of those relationships before this point were pointing out that shadow that we didn't want to pay attention to, that we always said, well, they did this or this happened to me. And really it was a mirroring of a point in your construct that you needed to pay attention to. So I really like this card because it encourages us to go into that void and have the courage to start creating in a place that already is not constructed. It's like going to a town, but there's no buildings, there's no sewage system, there's no electricity, but yet they've deemed it a town and you are to build that town. I think there's even video games where you build your city, you build your town. So for those of you that like video games, same idea. Going deep into your consciousness and getting rid of things that kept you in a certain dimension that is crumbling. And the only thing keeping you is this darkness that you don't feel like there's a sure thing on the other side. We need to get used to the fact that there may not be a sure thing on the other side ever again, because we've been given the gift to start creating it. Our courage, though, may not be there. This isn't a lion card, which speaks directly of courage, but it's definitely a big cat. And this cat is respected a lot in Mayan culture, in particular, the panther. It's considered more royal. And there are reasons for that, because people that become royalty, they become leaders, are not afraid to start creating from nothing, or what looks like it's nothing. It's never really nothing. It just appears to be nothing. So I don't want you to be afraid to take this journey forward, start interacting with that void, dip a toe in, get rid of things that are already constructed, that are clearly falling apart, and see what you're made of a little bit. And don't worry, you are being held. You're being held by spirit, right? You're being held by God. You don't need these man-made constructions to hold you. This is an initiation and it's a real test because, like I said, it takes some courage and it takes facing yourself and what you really want. But I know we can do this. And so this is our first message with this card reading for this week. Every week I will have a different animal message, whatever comes up. It's interesting that this is the first message and the last card of this particular deck. And I really hope that you guys take a look at your dark side. Don't be afraid of it. And then move into creation. Move into interaction with that void. It's only dark because you haven't brought the light. You haven't started creating anything there. Don't be afraid of it. It's waiting for you. It's not evil. It's just waiting for you to make it possible. So I think that we're going to learn just how powerful, just how magical, and just how unique we are. So thank you for listening to this week's Black Panther reading. And every week we'll have a different card. So I love you guys. I know we can do this. Bye.